Why do some people become abusers, and why do some people stay? This is not a simple story. This is a psychological pattern built from childhood, fear, shame, and the desperate human need to be loved. Let's break it down. 1. The making of an abuser. People aren't born abusive. They're shaped. Most abusers grew up in homes where love felt unsafe, unpredictable, conditional. Where affection came with fear. Where control replaced care. Where anger was the only language anyone understood. As children, they learned one thing. If I can't control the world will destroy me. So they grow up trying to control everything. Your schedule. Your clothing. Your friends. Your body. Your emotions. Not because they're strong. But because inside, they're terrified. Terrified of abandonment. Terrified of being exposed. Terrified of feeling powerless the way they did as children. And instead of healing, they weaponize their fear. They rewrite the world so they never feel small again. Even if that means making you feel smaller every day. 2. The making of a victim. And then there's the other side of the story. Victims don't choose abuse. They choose familiarity. Because your nervous system remembers what your childhood taught you. That love means walking on eggshells. That attention arrives right after the anger. That tenderness always comes with tension. So when an abuser shows up in adulthood, not with violence, but with obsession, intensity, and "you're my everything," it feels like home. A dangerous home. But still, home. Victims often come from families where they had to earn love. Where they had to stay quiet to keep the peace. Where they had to be the strong one. The forgiving one. The understanding one. So they don't see the red flags. They see familiar patterns. And familiar feels safer than lonely. 3. Why victims stay. People love to ask. Why didn't she just leave? But they never ask. What did he do to make leaving feel impossible? Abusers don't destroy their victims all at once. They do it slowly. Softly. Step by step. First, they isolate you. Then they make you question yourself. Then they convince you no one else will ever love you. Then they say, you're overreacting. Then, this is your fault. Then, I'll change. And your brain learns to normalize chaos. Your body learns to live in survival mode. Your self-worth becomes so damaged that even the thought of leaving feels like a threat. That's not weakness. That's trauma conditioning. 4. Why abusers don't stop. Abusers rarely change because changing requires facing the one thing they fear most. Their own shame. To admit wrongdoing, they would need to admit vulnerability. And vulnerability feels like death to someone who survived childhood by shutting down emotionally. So instead of healing, they blame. They twist. They rewrite history. They turn every confrontation into a personal attack. They weaponize their fear until it becomes control. And the cycle continues. 5. How victims finally break free. Leaving an abuser never starts with a suitcase. It starts with a thought. A tiny thought. I deserve more than this. A whisper inside the mind. A crack in the story you've been told about yourself. Then one day, the fear of staying becomes louder than the fear of leaving. And you choose yourself. Not because you stopped loving the abuser. But because you finally started loving you. That moment is not weakness. It's rebirth. 6. Healing after abuse. Recovery is slow. Some days you feel strong. Other days you feel broken. Both are normal. You're rebuilding a nervous system destroyed by fear. You're relearning how to trust your own voice. You're reclaiming a body that once lived in survival mode. Healing doesn't mean the story didn't happen. It means it no longer controls you. And if no one has told you this yet, you didn't deserve what happened. You didn't cause it. You didn't imagine it. And walking away wasn't weakness. It was the strongest thing you've ever done. 7. Final message. If you recognize yourself in this story, you are not alone. And you are not broken. You're a survivor of something you should have never had to survive. And there is life after this. A beautiful one. A peaceful one. A life where love doesn't hurt. A life where you finally feel safe in your own skin. You deserve that life. And you can build it. Step by step, breath by breath, choice by choice. If this video resonated with you, hit subscribe, leave a comment, and share your story. Your voice might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today.